Hello, this is Bonza, or known as Excel, and I'm going to be talking about the female aspect of things. They just below you from miles away. What I mean, and it just sometimes you don't see it coming. And the thing about women is that they tend to do things that you just don't expect. You put your whole effort into relationships, and you put your whole time and effort for things that you thought you had it handled, but you really don't have it handled. And I was just watching uh these shows, like these YouTubers, like Fresh and Fit and Joker, and what they say is, I think, 100% true about almost all the things that they're bringing up. And the thing is, women just tend to mistreat men, like, sadly. Like, it's so sad. And women just go after, you know the 5 to 10 to 20% of men who are just extremely successful, and women just completely ignore the fact of there are other men out there who would treat them just like amazing, like miracle workers and this and that. They would give them the most best everything. You know what I mean? And the the thing is that women don't take the time to just like care about men who are a bunch of failures. They don't want to be with men with a bunch of failures. You know what I mean? And it's kind of sad but true in a way. And over time, you know, I kind of knew about a lot of these things that women have been acting and doing a lot of things in social media, and they do things to do everything they can to get the utmost attention from men, from having like Instagram or Facebook or other sort of things, like some sort of online preferences that they want, and they basically want attention and shit, but they don't go after like guys who are just whatchamacallit, uh like not so good looking. They go after the men who are good looking. And I just find it really hilarious in certain like aspects. Like there are women who don't really like big fat men, and they're fat themselves. And I feel like the whole sort of criteria is, I think like the fat should be with the fat. As messed up as it sounds, but it's very frustrating. You know what I mean? It's very frustrating, especially when it's a woman, where you do everything you can to give her all sorts of pleasures, and you give her everything that she dreams of. And she doesn't stick with you at the very end. She throws you away like you were basically nothing. You know what I mean? And a lot of women, they're chasing a bunch of men, like men that look like Leonardo DiCaprio or Johnny Depp, or good-looking men. And it's really messed up. You know what I mean? And it's messed up in a bunch of different ways, to the point that they would leave dudes in the dust all the time, all the freaking time. uh, I don't know, like, it's just very frustrating. It's very frustrating for a lot of dudes out there who are single and struggling and shit and everything. And there are some dudes out there who has never had a relationship because there are women out there that just don't give dudes a chance, like dudes who have like disabilities, and it's really sad stuff. I mean, and sometimes I just don't understand. Like women back in the day, they would literally chill out with men who go through the war with no legs. Like they would literally spend their life with a man with no legs, and they would love him for who they are and this and that. You know what I mean? And nowadays, women complain about the most smallest little fucking thing. You know what I mean? They be complaining about like your eyebrow is too crooked. You have a mole in the place that I just don't like. You look really weird. I don't want someone who looks really weird. You look like that evil villain from that goddamn movie, from like Despicable Me or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's just it's hilarious, and sometimes I just don't understand um, their whole mentality, their whole criteria, and what men are looking for in women is sex. Uh, it's just hilarious. What men are looking for, like three things men are looking for is sex. Um, the second thing is sex, and the third thing is sex. I'm just kidding. Men are looking for sex, loyalty, and comfort. You know what I mean? Like that is something that men love. You know what I mean? They take the time and they enjoy the feeling. You know what I mean? And some women, they just don't want to be with men out there who are just really low level men who doesn't get a single like in anything. Men who just absolutely are just who who are not successful. And at the very end, it's just hilarious because over time, those men turn out to be successful, like beings, and women start to regret, like, oh man, I should have stayed with him instead of this jackass who's like literally mistreating me like caca every goddamn day. You know what I mean? And and it's really messed up. You know what I mean? And another problem is that it really pushes dudes to the limit sometimes. And when I mean it pushes dudes to the limit, sometimes they end up really suicidal, and they end their lives. You know what I mean? Like some dudes just really end their lives and shit, and it's sad but true. And the woman be like, oh, Jimmy passed away. Oh well, I'm just going to move on to the next guy. He's not around. I don't care. This and that. Sometimes it does affect them, throughout the years, and it affects them really, really strongly. But sometimes women don't make the right decisions. You know what I mean? And it really affects dudes. You know what I mean? And the problem is that sometimes a woman would literally be with a dude, and she would cheat him in the very end. You know what I mean? And that shit's not pretty. Like that's like some fucked up shady shit. When you think like that woman literally put the whole time and effort for you, and you put your whole time and momentum for this woman and everything, and it's just really fudged up. You know what I mean? Sometimes like there are women out there who can screw up a whole man's life. You know what I mean? Like there are literally men out there who has been searching for women for a very long ass time. You know what I mean? And the women would just use them for money. They would use them for fame, and like sometimes the only time you can ever get a woman to act mature is like basically treat her to alcohol. You know what I mean? And It's hilarious because then they start to act all freaking mature and shit. And when they act all freaking mature, in reality, it's just like they don't act like that every freaking day, you know. And sometimes I'd be watching videos or watching women in real life, and they be acting like real hot shit. They act like goddamn freaking cholas, or they be acting all gangster, and this, and that. And they act like they were in some deep shit type of criteria. And when a dude tries to go confront them, hey, I'm gonna beat the heck out of you. I'm just gonna roundhouse kick you, or just gonna like mad like fist you. You know what I mean? The woman starts to get afraid because she won't be able to handle the dude, because the dude's gonna literally defeat her. No matter what sort of outcome it is, it's just sad but true. And I just see that all the time. You know what I mean? And especially for like the young dudes, like literally, like the I need to really stop saying goddamn fucking, like, but the young dudes, they're just literally struggling. They don't know how to, go to a dude. And these young dudes, they basically have no money. They have no inspiration of a guy to come up towards them and tell them, hey, that woman's not right, stay away from her, don't do this, don't do that. They're out there in the blue. You know what I mean? And when you're out there in the blue, you don't know what you can get yourself into. You don't know how much money they're planning to take from you. You don't know what their whole plan is. You know what I mean? And they're just so many goddamn freaking Karens out there who are just like complaining because a lot of sort of things. You know what I mean? Complaining for the most smallest little bullshit details. And sometimes it just sucks. Yeah, it really sucks when you're just trying to do everything you can to give the woman love, to give her what she needs, to give her comfort, and in the very end, she just, man, it really isn't fair. And I hope a lot of the stuff that I'm bringing up will reach some young dudes, but it just like I get like a low amount of people, this and that. But if there's like any sort of high tier type of YouTubers that just literally watch my content, you know what I mean, or this and that, I hope that they can reach out, because the the whole society here has to get a grip, and a grip of the whole reality of the whole situation, because it's really it's really affecting people. You know what I mean? It probably affects dudes who are out there, and they're literally going out and shooting people, or like they're going out causing pain, because all they feel is pain because women are just mistreating them. Because sometimes there'd be dudes who fell in love with this woman throughout their whole life, and they're just too embarrassed, and once they finally reach to this woman throughout their whole life, the woman just literally rejects them. You know what I mean? And they the woman would just go after the really good guy. Sometimes there's a really good relationships that they end out in, but sometimes it's just really not enough, because they tend to go after a high tier type of level. They look at the dude like, oh, it's just a dude. And the thing is that we have to always treat women with respect, and women has to treat men with respect. And lately women has just been, they're not treating men with respect. They're they're mistreating us like we're just a bunch of like animals. You know what I mean? And they're just literally stuck up on their own little world where it involves freaking makeup and this and that. And sometimes I just be like, oh man, it's just another woman. I just can't I cannot stand this this feeling, this aura. You know, I started to feel this aura since like the age of 20, and at the age of 20 I'm just like, okay, you know, that's really not cool. Right there at that part of the video, my remote turned off, and I was just like, oh shit, my remote turned off. And sometimes that tends to happen in combat when I'm playing this game. There's gonna be videos where I'm gonna be showing people teleporting people teleporting in games, and it would give a whole reason why I literally stopped like playing this game that much, like a lot. But anyways, get back to the point. You know, it's really fudged up. You know what I mean? It really is fudged up, and it really doesn't give younger dudes a whole potential. You know, there'd be literally younger dudes out there who, you know, rides a bike, you know, and the woman just doesn't care about this guy who's just literally riding his bike, and he's like doing work every day. You know, he's going to his job location every day. You know, he's doing this, he's doing that. He takes a taxi, he takes the bus, you know, or this and that. Or like a dude is just mentally disabled because he can't drive. You know, he literally can't drive his freaking car. You know what I mean? He can't do jack squat. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the regulations, they have to make sure that your eye vision is right. You have to make sure that you can do things correctly when you're driving and this and that. And it can become a whole sort of type of thing, you know. And it's kind of messed up in a way. Yeah, it's just very frustrating. It's frustrating for me, it's frustrating for men, and it's frustrating all the time, you know. And sometimes, no matter how much you can show off, like no matter how many times you show off to a woman, it still isn't enough to tickle their winkles, to tickle their little bells. You know what I mean? And sometimes they get really like aggressive. You know what I mean? They get really aggressive. They get really butthurt for the most smallest little criticisms. You know what I mean? And over time, you know, a lot of guys, they got to a point where just really a marshmallow effect, where guys get affected when women start saying shit to them. So like, it's kind of hilarious, because a lot of shit has changed. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't how it was supposed to be. Like it's crazy. You know, back then it was a lot more different. You know, I wish I was like around back then, because man, I think I'd probably have a better chance of doing things the way it's supposed to be done. You know, way back, because women had a little bit more respect for back then. And you know, it really isn't fair. It really isn't fair for dudes who get a lot of things taken away. You know what I mean? And it really isn't right for a dude to leave a woman with a child. You know what I mean? To leave her with a child, and she has to work with, you know, 3 children or 4 children. You know, that shit's like some messed up stuff. And sometimes it just questions your mind. Be like, what, did she hang out with the Chad that time? What did she do? She hung out with like a really bad dude, and he basically ditched her and chased off another girl because she was not capable of handling the situation. You know what I mean? And then like, and it's really messed up because there are literally women out there who say like, oh, I'm so adult, I'm so this, I'm so that. You know what I mean? Because they feel mature because they start driving, you know what I mean, and they start bragging, and you know what I mean, it's a bunch of nonsense. Sometimes it's just a little bit too much nonsense to the point that it's just like, yo, what? I don't know, man. It's just very frustrating because, you know, a lot of women, they spend so much money on makeup and this and that, you know, and sometimes dudes be with them and be like, oh, who are you putting makeup for? Oh, I'm putting makeup for myself. Majority of the time I just feel like she's probably putting makeup to make other guys look at her, you know, and then take the guy away or something like that. You know what I mean? And sometimes there'd be dudes who literally do boxing and this and that, and women like that, they end up like, oh, this boxer is not good enough anymore. I'm gonna chase after this football player because he's really tough. He's got some really nice bones. He's a little bit more effective in the words he says. You know what I mean? And it's wild, man. It really is wild. You know what I mean? And sometimes the first the first relationship ends out down the gutter because majority of the time it's the woman who just basically she freaking end it for some like a wacky reason. And sometimes it'd be like you didn't do anything. Sometimes you literally do nothing and she just literally throws it out the door, you know? And it's just hilarious. It's very hilarious, especially when you're taking the time, your effort, you know. And what I'm going to say is that for now on, you guys who are out there trying to find women, be careful when you're trying to choose a woman. Sometimes they can pretend, they can persuade you, you know, because of their body, their looks. And don't let their body and looks like get in the way of the big picture. You know what I mean? And the big picture would be really, literally, how can I say it? Your future. You know what I mean? And finding your future is something that you have to get a hold of. You know what I mean? It's something that's not going to be there automatically. You have to keep on getting on a nice old grip. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, you know, like some I call women a bunch of a live round, you know, like sometimes it will go off and sometimes it won't go off. And if you hit it with a hammer, you know, if you hit that live round with a hammer, it's gonna go off, you know. And that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, you have to keep in mind that you have to be careful. You know, you don't want to do a kind of a reckless mistake that you're just going to regret it for a long time. You know, you just have to find something that just tickles your berries, man. You gotta get that little nice juicy momentum, the juicy momentum of doing things correctly, you know. And majority of the time I'd be looking at women and you know, they they be getting on you for the most dumbest mistakes, for the most smallest things, literally for the most smallest minor things. You know, sometimes it'd be like, oh, you looked at that woman? The whole relationship is gone. It's over. It's over. You know what I mean? Or like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? And sometimes you be taking the time, and then you look at a woman, and she be doing a ton of mistakes. She be doing a ton of things wrong. She be doing a ton of things not right. You know what I mean? And sometimes she would have like a whole sort of a, a side life, like a whole sort of side life while you're with her. You know what I mean? Like she would have a whole sort of a whole new world, you know, like a whole new world. You know what I mean? It's just hilarious. And that whole new world would be a world of pretty boys or guys who are really good looking, and she just literally goes out chasing them, this, and that. You know what I mean? And this stuff that I'm saying is kind of like a lot of the brutal truth, and now women are starting to realize that men are stepping up to the problem, the whole game. You know what I mean? And throughout the whole reason a lot of guys are bringing this up is because majority of the time a lot of the stuff that we've been realizing is because of this whole sort of pandemic. And this whole pandemic has been um a time, a moment to, you know, think of the things and this and that. You know, like I wanted to bring this up on YouTube like probably like 2 years ago or something like that, but I never did. It's just like I just love playing this game. You know what I mean? It just feels really nice. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's really not fair. And I feel sorry for the dudes out there who have like nobody in their life, that have people on their sidelines to rely on, you know, dudes who don't look so good, you know, dudes who look very irregular, you know, dudes who don't speak that much. You know what I mean? I feel sorry for those dudes, and man, someday, you know what I mean, someday you're gonna get the nice P, you know what I mean, the PY, and that's how it is. You know what I mean? And now what women's been trying to do is just bend the whole sort of the whole culture, the whole society, the whole sort of aspect of how it is. But you know, us men, we have a right, you know, like the only two differences that us women and men have is that, you know, men have the pee-pee, you know what I mean, and then the women have the vagina. And another thing is the chest, you know what I mean, and there's many reasons, so many things, and men are supposed to be the top, you know what I mean, and there's so many women in this world. I think there's a little bit more women than men in this world, because majority of the men who go throughout the world, a lot of men die, because a lot of the times men die because of wars, you know what I mean, and that stuff is a insane struggle, and men do whatever they can to keep women safe, to give them, you know, comfort. And sometimes there will be dudes out there who can't keep women safe, who are like goddamn skinny dudes but sometimes they got some really nice brains, you know what I mean? And that's what we were basically born on this world for, you know what I mean? You can't change the facts, you know, man. You can't automatically change to feminism, or whatever the word is called. I said it freaking wrong. You know, it's not like you can tell that fish, you know what I mean? You tell that fish there's a whole sort of thing that's going on, feminism, and then they turn it to feminist, and then all the fish can't reproduce. You know what I mean? If you kind of think about it, it's kind of hilarious in a way. Or you can literally look at a good example would be a lion and a good example would be, how can I explain it? Like the male lion and the female lion, and you can't tell the female lion to turn feminist all of a sudden, because if she turns feminist all of a sudden, how is it going to reproduce cubs? You know what I mean? How is it going to reproduce a bunch of things that are very necessary for the survival of the world? You know, it's a fact. You know, it's either you're born a woman or you're born a man. You know what I mean? And if you're born a woman, oh well. You know what I mean? If you're born a man, oh well. Yeah. And the thing is that you really can't change. You can't change the whole sort of thing. You know, there are gonna be people out there. Oh, you know, you can change it to a she-male and a he-male, and you know, that's some weird shady stuff. That's like people were trying to change the whole way that the whole world is revolved in, you know. And it's understandable, I guess, if they want to change the way science is, but it doesn't give women the right to just mistreat every single man they see. It doesn't give them the right to mistreat every man they see, because every single man they see, one thing that a man want is to reproduce. I mean, that's what the dude wants to do, to reproduce. And it's really sad. It's really sad for people out there who are just like who are like 50 or 60 years old, and they're men who are absolutely virgins. You know, like they're literally virgins. They're good looking too, and women just don't give them a chance to, you know, show off their schlong. You know what I mean? And sometimes a man's schlong can be kind of like an Easter egg sometimes, you know. Sometimes you never know what size you're gonna get. But yeah, that's basically it. And this is Bonsai, and see y'all later. Take care. Enjoy your day.